Hey guys, it's Butterfly Devil. Welcome back to another Space Marine 2 video. Today I want to showcase the build I have for Bulwark in the operations, which is the PvE mode in Space Marine 2. Bulwark is really fun. It does not have a main weapon. Well, it does have a main weapon. Your main weapon is power sword. You don't have a primary range weapon other than a pistol. So, but you do get a shield that blocks a lot of range attack, and also you have the chapter banner, which you restore armor to all squad's member in the area of effect. Bulwark work as a tank in the operation. He does a lot of damage on top of that, but you can just sit in front of your squad, block as much damage as possible, or put down chapter banner to keep them alive. So I'm gonna go over what perks I choose for Bulwark and what weapon perks I choose for each individual weapon. So let's dive right into it. So the perk I chose for Bulwark on the first one, in the first line, is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 5 seconds. That is just good. You want to be as tanky as possible, so with this ability, you take even less health damage, and we'll go into how we can offset that even more on top of that. And this is really good. Just you lose all your armor and you can just keep going without dying too quick. The other two ability, it's okay. It's not the greatest. This one requires you to do a shield bash. You're gonna have to stop your combo, do a shield bash, do more damage. It helps, but in ruthless difficulty, you are gonna take a lot of damage. Regular Tyranid warrior could basically take out half your health if you don't have this ability, and that's why I prefer to have Conviction than the other two. Next we're gonna focus on is Shock and Awe. Enemies in a shock area take 25% more damage. Well, you may ask, well, do I have to get shock grenade, or how would I create a shock area? And if you stand in your shock grenade, you are going to take damage from your own grenade. We're going to go into the next ability because they kind of work together. That's why I have them together. Defensive advantage. A perfectly timed parry create a shock area for 5 seconds. So in that 5 seconds, everyone in that area will take 25% more damage. As a Bulwark, as a melee focus class, you're going to want to be really good at parrying enemies. That's basically your main thing. You have to be really good at parrying, and you have to be really good at dodging. And when you have perfectly parried, you're going to create a shock area, and when you create a shock area, they take 25% more damage. It's going to help you kill these Tyranid warrior more. And on top of that, because you have a shock area and it deals damage to everyone around you, not yourself, this one does not damage yourself. You're gonna kill all the tiny little homogons or the little human or cinch monster, so you don't have to worry about them. You just have to focus on the Majora's enemies. Next we're gonna go to is the advanced conditioning. I personally like this one because the contested health fade 50% more slowly for all squad members, including yourself. And with the first ability, you take 25% less health damage. When you take damage, those health will become contested health. And if they fade 50% more slowly, you have a better chance to regain those health by doing damage to enemies, instead of just losing that health. So that will definitely help with your survivability. The next one I chose is Shield Bash. Knock enemies back and makes them lose control for a longer period of time. The other two is great, but not the best. This one, you restore armor 300% faster, but its duration is reduced to 5 seconds. No, you want that banner to stay as long as possible. You're already basically invincible in the banner, so you don't care about restoring armor for 300% faster. You want it to be longer because in ruthless difficulty, it takes so long to kill a Tyranid warrior unless your team is doing focus fire, you need the banner to stay longer so you can take them out one at a time. Since you are melee focused, you don't have a lot of AoE attack. And this one just deals shield bash, deal more damage. And as you play through, you're not gonna do that much shield bash attack. You're not gonna go around shield bashing everyone. You're mostly using it to block, and sometimes you shield bash once in a while. So this extra damage doesn't really help. So we're more focusing on this one, so that if you're doing a one-on-one or fighting a lictor or whatever monster that you're trying to fight, you can help knock them back a little bit, and they will get staggered a little bit longer, so that your team could try to focus fire on that lictor. Next we're gonna go with is invigorating icon. When the banner is activated, all squad members regain maximum contested health. I mainly use this so that I could help my team to survive longer. Okay, this will help the team when they are especially a range focus like the heavy or the tactical. They don't have a lot of ways to regain contested health fast. So you use this to help them regain that maximum contested health. So you're gonna have to kind of focus on yourself and your teammates' health. If they just took a big hit and you put this down, they just regain all that contested health. So this is gonna help them a lot to survive, help your team to survive. And by them surviving, it will help you kill the enemies faster. Because in Ruthless, I mean, I did a full combo on a Tyranid warrior by myself, and he didn't even go down. Ruthless is really ruthless, and I'm excited to wait to see what the next difficulty is gonna be. But anyways, this next ability, you have to pick the first one. Okay? You have to. And you have no choice but to take this one. And I'll go into why. Rejuvenating effect. When the banner is activated, it revives incapacitated squad members within its area effect. There is a hidden effect. I don't know if it's a bug or it was intended. But when you put this down, yes, it revives them if it goes down. But the main thing is that it gives you your full health bar, full contested health back. So if you're at half health, it'll give you the other half as contested health. It'll give you 100%. So this is how you want to do it. When you're low health or half health, whatever the case is, whenever you feel like it's the right time to do it, get an enemy to execute range. But don't execute him yet. Put this down. Put your banner down. And when you banner down, you'll regain all the contested health. And when you regain all the contested health, execute the enemy. And when you execute, you automatically regain all your contested health back. And then you'll be back to full health again. And because the banner is still running, you'll regain armor while you're doing the execution. So you're basically back to full health completely. And then you just keep going. And that's why I didn't want the banner to only last for 5 seconds. Because I want the banner to stay longer. Because after you do that, you gain full health, yes. But in Ruthless, you got like 5 more Tyranid warrior you're trying to kill. So you cannot have the banner go down right away. So you have to pick this one if you're playing Bulwark. Either until they patch it, realize that it's a bug, or whatever the case is why that happened, I have no idea. I just knew that this is the only perks that allows you to regain all of your contested health. And when you do damage or do execution, you regain all those contested health. That's what keeps you alive more than anything else on this skill tree. The last one I use is emergency countermeasure. When your armor is depleted, a reserve shock grenade automatically detonates at your position. Well, this kind of goes back to this second ability. Enemy in shock area take 25% more damage. And also, most important thing is, this one also does not damage you. That is a big thing. A lot of the shock grenade also damage you, but this one and the perfectly timed parry does not damage you. And both of them contribute to this enemies in shock area take 25% more damage. You want them to, and that's not just for you. Your teammates also do 25% more damage to the enemies. So that's a skill tree for Bulwark. Next I'm gonna focus on is the plasma pistol. Now you could do the bolt pistol, but what I realized is that the plasma pistol do way more damage, and since you don't have a ranged weapon, and this is your only range, against Tyranids, you got the zone throw that's just flying in the air. You cannot hit him until they drop down to the ground, and if you don't take their health down, you cannot drop them to the ground. And by having a plasma pistol that does a lot of damage on a charged shot, you can help your team to take these guys down. And also, I think about 3 or 4 shots charged, it will also make a Thousand Sun Space Chaos Space Marine to execute range, or Tyranid Warrior or whatnot. The sniper, you can use it to help, but if you don't use charge, that's fine. This gun, it's very quick firing, and it will help you kill all the small guys too. So I personally really like the plasma pistol. The bolt pistol just doesn't do it for me against those bigger enemies, especially if they're far away. For the perk tree, I went down to the bottom. Now, I know some people would come down here and go up, go down, but for me personally, I want this weapon cool 15% faster, so I was forced to go down the bottom row. So I'll go through it real quick. Fast venting, weapon cool 15% faster. Rampage, after killing 10 enemies in rapid succession, you deal 25% more damage. This is very easy. You charge shot, it does AoE. So when you see a group of homogons or those human or whatever, charge up, boom, one shot, they're all down. Okay. Damage from a charge shot increased by 10%. That is really good against those extremist enemies. Or what was it? There is a mission where you have to fight that giant what is that bird called? Helldrake. And he's far away. You turn on all the console as a Bulwark, you can't hit it. So you're just standing there looking pretty. But when you have a plasma pistol, you can charge up and shoot him. That will help, and does a lot of damage. So it will help a lot more on the team than if you use bolt pistol maybe. Bolt pistol is more for wave clearing. But when we go into the sword, we're gonna show you don't really need wave clearing. Great Might. I don't have a choice but to pick this one. Damage increased by 10% against terminus enemies. Personally, I don't like these type of perks. It's very restricting. So if I go, so that means that this perk only works if I'm going against Tyranid. But there are missions in the game where you are going against both Tyranids and Thousand Sun Chaos Space Marine. So this wouldn't help a lot. But I have no choice but to go down this route. So next, energy reserve of plasma weapons increased by 20%. When you charge your plasma pistol and shoot it, it used 10 rounds. I have 120 rounds. So that means that I can only do 12 charge shot. So this one will definitely help with doing more charge shot. Next one, charge shots from plasma weapon use 2 less energy. So instead of 10, you use 8. You see the pattern now, right? And charging, shoot, charging, shoot. Next one, after perfectly timed dodge, you do 25% more damage for 5 seconds. The only reason I picked this one, not just because it's the bottom tree, but as a bulk ward. Against those red circle, you have to dodge. Blue circle, you parry. Well, when you see a red circle, when you perfectly timed dodge it, you deal more damage. So this will help using it on bulk ward. And last one, weapon cool 15% faster. So how I do it is, you know, I shoot from a distance, make my weapon overheat a little bit, and then after that, I either stagger the big guys, stagger the sniper, whatever I gotta do, then I just run up there and I slash them with my sword. And while I am doing my melee combo, the weapon is automatically cooling. So the faster you cool it, the better. Then after you cool it, you put after it's cool, you pull your pistol back up and shoot them again. So that's why I chose this one. I want it to cool faster. And the next one is the Power Sword. So the main thing about Power Sword is that you have 2 abilities. Okay, you have the speed and the power stance. The power stance is for doing AoE damage, doing area effect. You're slashing sideways, horizontally, trying to cleave as much enemies as possible. While the speed stance, you swing faster, but you only hit one enemy instead. So what does that say? Speed is more for Majoras or the Tyranid Warrior or the Extremists, and then while power stance is more for Minoris enemies. Like those tons of homogons coming at you, you want to use your power stance. And to switch stance, you just hold your melee weapon. The melee weapon button, the swing button, attack button. Now, I'll also go over a little bit about the defense stats right here. There's 3 different types: balance, fencing, and block. Okay? I don't know why they have block, but block is the worst. The worst in the game. That's my personal opinion. They offset it by having more stats sometimes, but it's just not good in my opinion. When you block, that means that when you parry a blue circle, you are only blocking the damage. You're not parrying, you're not staggering the enemies, you have no way to do a pistol strike after. It's straight just blocking the damage and that's it. So I don't like the block. Now, what's the difference between balance and fencing? Fencing is really good at parrying, and it makes it easier to parry than balance. So you have a bigger, longer parry window than if you were to use balance defense instead. So if you like parrying, fencing is the best way to go. Especially when you're surrounded by the Tyranid Warrior with the whip and the sword and all that. They're all attacking you with a blue circle and you see like 5 of them. Fencing is the best. You know, you can block all of them at once. Balance is not bad. Balance is also good. Just, I don't feel like it's as good as fencing. But of course, different swords is going to have a different stats. Like with fencing, you have faster speed, so you swing faster. So in the speed stance, you're going to be able to do more combos before the Tyranid Warrior trying to do a strike at you or run away or whatever the case is. So now that we talk about that, now we can go to the perk. And it's important, that's why I have the perk the way it is, so that will help. Melee damage increase, very straightforward. After switching sword combat, you take 20% less range damage. You will be switching in the game because you will be switching between power and speed, because when you're going against a group, you want to be using the power stance. Or if you just want to stand there and just switch it, to take 20% less range damage before you go up to 1000 Sun Chaos Space Marine, but you have a shield anyway, so it doesn't matter. Next, melee damage increase, straightforward. Next, melee damage increase 5%, straightforward. Even with all these damage increase, it still takes a lot to just take down a Chaos Space Marine or Tyranid Warrior at ruthless difficulty. So just be prepared. Next, momentum gain. Now, it's why it's important to have that high speed. Each consecutive light attack increase light attack melee damage by 3%, up to 30%. Well, the higher the speed on my sword, the faster I could do light attack. The faster I do light attack, the more I stack this up. That's it. That's simple. Next, speed style combo length increase from 4 to 5. Most of the time, you're going to be using the speed style because you're trying to take down these 1000 Sun or take down the Tyranid Warrior, so you're just trying to swing as fast as possible. And this will also help with the light attack, increase damage. You're not really going to use a lot of heavy like charge attack or your other combo, just because you're trying to just swing as fast as possible, boost this up. And you know, I have tried to do, let's say I swing like once or twice and then use the whirlwind ability attack or whatever it's called. Most of the time when I do that, they either back up or the 1000 Chaos Space Marine will teleport away. So I'll rather just keep swinging until they die. Next, melee damage against Chaos enemies increased by 10%. Again, I'm trying to go down this tree. I don't really have much of an option. But I personally find that Chaos enemies are more annoying because they can shoot you. Even at close range. Like, they won't even try to kick you or hit you with a chainsword or whatever. They will just stand there at point blank range and shoot you. So the faster you take them down, the better. So if I have to pick between doing more damage to Tyranid or more damage to Chaos, I'll rather choose more damage to Chaos. At least with Tyranid, I could just parry them because I have fencing. While performing a light combo, you take 15% less range damage. You know, again, Chaos Space Marine keeps shooting you, so while you're doing it, you take 15% less range damage. So as we're going through this, you guys could see like how the perks, all the weapon kind of work together to make you like an overall super strong tank and also do a lot more damage. Next, enemy hit by power rake deal 30% less damage, and that's the one where while you're swinging, you end the combo by holding the melee attack button. Then you just, you know, swipe up and do a massive AoE attack. That is really good if you want to do that right off in the beginning. Hit him once, charge the attack, bam, he does 30% less damage, and you just go straight into your light combo. Next one, melee damage against Majora's enemies increased by 10%. That's all your Tyranid Warrior, your regular 1000 Chaos Space Marine, or even the Chaos Sorcerers. These are really good because you don't care about the small guys. Small guys, easy to kill, you don't have to worry about it, you have your other teammates to help, use a grenade, whatever the case is. But the big guys is what takes a long time to kill in Ruthless, and I really hope that they either buff the damage on the weapons or nerf the enemy slightly, because it shouldn't take me 20 hit with the power sword to take down a 1000 Chaos Space Marine. That is way too long, and it's just not right. But whatever, we will continue fighting for the Emperor. And the last one is speed style attacks restore 100% more contested health. So you can just keep standing there and just keep swinging and swinging and swinging and swinging. And of course, this also ties into your perk. Contested health fades 50% more slowly for all squad member, and also remember rejuvenating effect. You regain all of your contested health, so then you can just keep swinging with your sword and just regain all of your contested health, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's it about Bulwark. I really enjoyed Bulwark. I really like this class, and I see a lot of people use it. A lot of the time I don't get to use it. I'm forced to use the other class because everyone also loves the Bulwark. So, but anyways guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.